The next one is a closing attorney or title company. It depends what state you're in, but in Georgia we use closing attorneys. In other states you may use a title company. They're basically interchangeable terms, but depending on your state, you know, that's who you want to search for, either closing attorney or a title company. These are amazing contacts for a variety of reasons. For one, they are extremely well networked. They know all of the serious players in your market. So even aside from just providing you with additional stream of deals coming your way, if you need things like, I don't know, just any kind of contact. If you need, you know, inspectors or appraisers or contractors, or you need lenders or just anything like that, once you build a relationship with a closing attorney, they can be a major hookup for all kinds of reasons. So, you know, really, if I had to pick just a single person or a single one of these contacts that is kind of the most important, I think the closing attorney is at the top of the list. There's a caveat though. The caveat is that you kind of have to prove your ability before you can really leverage the relationship of a closing attorney. If you call up a closing attorney's office who they don't know who you are, they don't know your ability and, you know, that kind of thing, they're not going to be really motivated to help you out too much, just because, you know, it might be a waste of time for them, honestly, from their perspective. So for the closing attorney, you kind of have to already have a little bit of a relationship already built with them before you can expect to have some deals coming your way as a result. So, you know, get some deals closed with a closing attorney in your market or title company, and then take the relationship to the next level. All right. So why are these guys such a big deal? Well, here's the thing. Closings fail all the time for a variety of reasons, all kinds of reasons. Now, if your closing attorney knows that you're capable and that you have the ability to slide in and basically bring the pieces together of a closing that is failing or has failed, you can save the closing attorney a ton of money. Because a closing attorney actually has all kinds of expenses tied up in a closing. They're paying for title costs, and they have all this staff and paralegals and such as that are on the clock and costing them money whenever the paperwork is being pulled together. So who knows? I mean, they could have thousands of dollars tied up into these deals, and, you know, if it's not for you who is going to slide in there and save them from some of these failed closings, you know, they would basically just be losing, you know, even more money. So another reason I really like the closing attorney kind of deals is they have been some of the simplest for me to do. And they're simple because a lot of times these closings are pretty far along in the process before they fail. It could be a title problem, or the buyer gets cold feet, or the seller gets cold feet, or whatever. Hundreds of reasons why these things can fail, but they're pretty far along in the process whenever they do so. And that means a lot of the work has been done. You know, if you're okay with the price that the house is being purchased from the owner at, if you're okay with that price, you just slide in there, put another contract together at the same price, and, you know, 2 days later or a day later, the deal is done. I mean, it could be as simple as that. That's just an example, but I just recall some of the deals that I've done with a closing attorney just been very, very simple because a lot of the work has already been done. The marketing's done. You know, if there's already been an inspection done or appraisals, a lot of that stuff can just be forwarded to you at no cost. And, you know, can be very, very easy deal. So closing attorney, very good one to network with, you know, for the use of having deals coming your way, but you need to already have, you know, some history with that closing attorney before you can expect kind of that special treatment and for them to start sending you those deals. So beyond that, they just need to kind of know what you're looking for, you know, motivated seller deals, you know, residential stuff, you know, certain price range, this and that. And then anytime something matches your criteria, you know, they call up Ben or they call up you, and then you can slide in there and, you know, see if it's something that you can get done for them. Really good guys to know. Very, very good guys to know for a lot of reasons. Okay, the best way to find closing attorneys, if you don't already have a relationship with one, is by way of referral. And this can save you a ton of time. in your market, I mean, unless your market is just minuscule, you probably have, you know, a dozen different closing attorneys or title companies in your market, at least. My market of Atlanta, probably hundreds of different closing attorneys in Atlanta. And if I had to get on the phone and just make call after call after call trying to find investor-friendly closing attorneys, you know, it would take a lot of time. But if you can get referrals, it can save you a ton of time. So what I suggest you do instead is call up some investors that you know and ask them who they recommend as a closing attorney. And if you call up like a dozen different investors, you're going to recognize a theme. You're going to hear the same closing attorney or title company name come up multiple times. Those are the guys you want to work with. Okay, so that's how to get in touch with the correct closing attorney or title company in your area. Finally, how do you compensate a closing attorney? Well, you can't really, I mean, I don't think you can like really pay them. You can't put a closing, you know, you can't have a fee on the HUD-1 that says, you know, $1,000 payable to the closing attorney that's actually doing the closing. That would be, I'm pretty sure that would be a pretty severe conflict of interest. But again, think about it. You're saving them thousands of dollars just by coming in and saving them from any closings that would otherwise die and just be, you know, a loss to them. You know, still closings are going to fail all the time with a closing attorney, but you know, if you can save them from a handful of closings a year, you're helping them out in a huge way. So that's how you compensate them. You don't pay them, you just come in and close these failing deals. That's how it works with the closing attorneys, all right? All right, so from there, let's get into some tools and resources that are going to help you out and kind of help bring all this stuff together for strategic networking, all right? Moving on.